Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to introduce you to our new unit, which is potatoes. As you can see, this unit is going to be all about potatoes. So as I had mentioned before, for the next few months, we are going to focus on one vegetable, and we are going to talk about how that vegetable applies to different subjects. So we are going to talk about potatoes in living environment, in English, and global history. And then here I have a list of all the assignments that are due in a calendar, but you will have each assignment under each subject as well. This is just for a reminder. So first I want to talk about how potatoes relate to living environment. So the way in which we're going to talk about potatoes in living environment is we're going to talk about crop rotation. You're going to watch an Edpuzzle and answer some questions based on crop rotation. We're going to talk about how we are going to use crop rotation in our garden when we plant the potatoes. And then we are going to do a lab based on crop rotation. So you're going to learn how we apply crop rotation to planting potatoes and what that has to do with living environment and science. So first I'm going to start by showing you a few images on crop rotation explaining what it means. So here we go. Okay. So the first images we have show that vegetables belong to different families. So we have the tomato or nightshade family, the squash family or cucurbitate, bean, and onion. And what we mean by rotating crops is that each year we plant a new vegetable from a different family in the same spot. Okay, so for example, the first year in our garden, we could plant tomatoes. And tomatoes and potatoes, even though you wouldn't think it, are actually both a part of the nightshade family. So in our case, we're going to plant potatoes. Now next year, we do not want to plant potatoes in the same spot. We would plant something from a different family, maybe a broccoli, which is from the brassica family. And then the third year we would plant, we could not go back to planting potatoes again in that spot. We would plant carrots, something that's also in a different family. Okay, so as you can see, each year we plant something from a different family in the same spot. Doesn't mean that we can't plant potatoes at all. We're just not going to plant them in the same place. And why is that important? So the reason we do that is to, number one, keep away bugs and pests. Number two, build up a healthy soil. And number three, keep away weeds. So I'm going to explain to you how rotating your crops will help with all three of these things. Okay, so let's watch this slideshow that goes a little more into depth as to what crop rotation is and why it's important. So this is an already pre-made slideshow that I found on the internet, and I am just going to explain it a little bit to you, going through each image. So as you can see, these are all vegetables from different families. So in global history, you're going to be learning about the Irish potato famine, and you will see how it's connected to crop rotation. And part of the reason the potato famine occurred was because they grew the same crop in the same piece of land year after year. And so the diseases stayed in the soil. So this is a practice, rotating crops is a practice that's been around for a very long time. And as like I was showing you before, you grow a different type of crop or vegetable each year. Plants that are in different, not in the same family, they're in different families. So the reason this is helpful is because it prevents soil-borne pests and diseases specific to one group of crops. So like we were saying before, pests will stay in soil for a while if they can continue to feed off of a vegetable that they like. But if you do not plant that same vegetable and you plant a vegetable that they don't like, they're less likely to continue living in the soil. It prevents depleting the soil. So deplete means to take away from. So when you plant the same crop every year, it depletes nutrients from the soil, because as we had learned before in our previous unit, each plant, each vegetable requires and puts off a different nutrient. Which is what you can see right here. So again, rotating crops confuses pests and keeps populations low, and diseases are not able to become established. It's important for building healthy soil, like I had mentioned before here as well. If we want to build healthy soil, we need to plant a different crop in the same place every year. That's why we say different families. So it's not just the same crop, but anything in that family. You wouldn't want to grow tomatoes one year in one place and then potatoes in that same spot the next year, because they're all in the same family. Here, if you would like to refer back to this, you can see how see all the different vegetables that are in the different families. You'd be pretty surprised ones that you didn't think that are related that are actually related, like potatoes and tomatoes. So as you can see, and as you'll learn more with global history, that the Irish potato famine could have been prevented if they had used crop rotation, and this would have stopped the spread of the potato blight, which is ultimately what caused the Great Irish Potato Famine. So I will show you here, this is what blight looks like. So this is what a type of disease that specifically affects potatoes and tomatoes. And crop rotation can prevent this from happening. And again, one final image that shows how each year a different vegetable in different families are planted in the same place. So this is actually somewhat of the format that we will follow for our garden beds. Okay? So now that I've shown you this slide share, I want you to watch this video and answer some questions. And then when you come to class, you'll be prepared to take this quiz. Okay, so you do not do this quiz now. This is for class tomorrow. Okay, well, I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you all tomorrow morning in class. Have a good night.